Hello people, I am JABY KOAY, and I have watched this Nintendo Switch trailer about 3 times now, and I've looked at some articles about it. I didn't know much about the Nintendo Switch other than it was a portable console and a home console, and it was using cartridge. I didn't look at any of the leaked information on it, so a lot of this is brand new to me. It was an interesting trailer, to say the least. They're showing a lot of stuff here, and it's really exciting. Having been the person, one of those people who was super excited about the Wii U, and was one of the first people to buy it and watch kind of what happened to that console, I'm cautiously optimistic is the best way I can put it. It's like a beefed up iPad. It's an iPad on steroids. What I want to say right away, I'm a big person of comfort when it comes to gaming. For any of you guys who have used an iPhone and played games on it, or an iPad and used it for a really long time, or even a laptop, the first thing you'll notice is when things heat up, and that's really annoying to me. The thing that's cool here is the controllers are not married to the unit. I imagine that even if the unit gets hot, you're not gonna feel it on your hands, so you can stay comfortable while you're playing the game. Like I said, this looks like an iPad on steroids. You're playing games that you most likely wouldn't be able to play on an iPad, at least not at this level. I noticed after watching it a 3rd time, and this may just be internet lag, I don't know, but I was looking pretty closely at it and everything else looked smooth, that Zelda had a bit of a slowdown when the dude was walking it portably and whatnot. You're gonna have some kind of sacrifice when you've got this base unit that's offering more power, and then you take it portably, it's gonna have a reduction in some kind of graphical fidelity. That's to be expected. I don't know how much of a drop in resolution you're gonna get, how much of a drop in frame rate you're gonna get, but they're boasting a huge thing here, showing you Skyrim. When they were showing that game being played portably, it looked smooth. I'm a fan of it using the cartridge. We've come a long way in terms of solid state technology. You're able to get cartridges with higher capacity than Blu-ray. You can fit a tremendous amount of data into these little things now, which is cool. The thing that's really being pushed in this trailer is this idea of the Nintendo Switch being a social experience. Pokemon was a huge social experience. This could be too. What's interesting to me, and it would be so me to say this, is they're marketing very, very directly at, white people. The very first person they show is a white dude in his 30s. The next person they show is a white dude on a plane, and then they show a white dude with his white girlfriend. It's the same guy who was on a plane. There's an Asian guy with orange hair getting into a van with a black guy who looks like Kid and Play. They're playing in the van. I've been an adult for a while, and it's rare that you'd find me in the back of a car with another friend just wanting to play a game, but this is a totally plausible experience. It could happen. If you're, a roadie or whatever, and you're with your friends, it's a perfectly reasonable experience that you could have. My question is, because they keep pushing this mobile thing, given how powerful this system is supposed to be, how long will it last being mobile? I have a feeling it's gonna be like the iPhone or something, where you're gonna constantly need to have a juice pack of some kind. One of the things that I'm curious about is the sheer power of this system, because it's so tiny. I've built computers. I've seen the kind of fans you gotta put in, the size of graphics cards with their own dedicated fans to keep it cool, just to have a game running at like 60 frames in 1080p. I noticed there's like a little vent on top of the Nintendo Switch to, I guess, help keep it cool. I just know from like playing games on my PS4, for instance, when you go to certain areas of like Uncharted or Infamous Second Son, the system just gets hot and you hear that fan turn on. How is it possible that Nintendo can compete with that and the system's not gonna overheat? Now there is that dock. I don't know anything about that dock. I guess it's gonna give you better graphics, whatever. It's gonna enhance the experience. It'll make playing on your TV obviously much better than it would be in a mobile setting. Nintendo said, what was his name? The president of Nintendo USA said something about how they're not trying to really compete in terms of like the graphical power of Sony or Microsoft. They're trying to do something different, and this is definitely different. Sony's not trying to do this. Microsoft is not trying to do this. This is definitely its own lane. But they're showing you Skyrim, which means they do kind of want to compete with that market. They're showing you adults, which means they do kind of want to compete with that market, but they're trying to focus on this mobile aspect of things. It's like it's mobile, but you can play at home also. I didn't see any touchscreen aspect to the system, but I feel like there might be, because if you look at when the Caucasian woman is playing in her living room, there were some amiibo toys under her TV, unless you have to buy some kind of adapter. Some of the marketing here is a little bit contrived to me, like a bunch of dudes playing basketball are gonna stop playing basketball to play basketball on the Nintendo Switch. That introduces an idea that I'm very excited about. One of the things that I loved on the Nintendo Wii U that I was really hoping for, is the main reason that I would probably buy the Nintendo Switch and try to convince my friends to do it, is first-person shooters. For those of you who played Call of Duty Black Ops 2, I believe, on Nintendo Wii U, if you did multiplayer, your friend could use the TV as a dedicated, for their dedicated perspective, and then you could use the Wii U for your dedicated perspective. It prevents you guys from being able to see each other's screens. I mean, you could still see each other's screens, but if you wanted to and not cheat, you could just look at your own screen so that there is the sense of having your own television. If you have a Nintendo Switch and your friend has a Nintendo Switch and your girlfriend has a Nintendo Switch and all three of you come together to play Call of Duty or whatever, you have your own dedicated screen, which I think is fucking so cool. It's just so awesome. And I think that they really should have been marketing that in this trailer, because a system like this can finally bring back couch co-op. Like, you can have your online experiences separately with Call of Duty or any other first-person shooter, and you can also bring it together and still have your isolated experience. I'm excited for that. I think that's so cool, and I can't emphasize that enough. If you guys, ever played GoldenEye or whatever back in the day, or even some couch co-op games that still exist today, if you're versing each other, you can see where the other person is. For me, that kind of gets in the way of the experience. With this, everyone has their own monitor. For those of you guys who don't know already, there's 48 companies that have pledged that they're gonna make Nintendo games. 48 software companies that have pledged support for Nintendo, including EA, Bethesda, Capcom, Activision, and Ubisoft. They showed a new Mario game in there, which looked just gorgeous. The thing that also stood out to me that I didn't know about, maybe you guys did, that Nvidia helped Nintendo with this, and I had no idea. That's a very, very smart move, and I'm sure with people not buying the Nvidia Shield, this is a good way to, repurpose those chips. I can see this being very successful. I'm hoping that it's Nintendo's comeback. I love Nintendo. I love Nintendo games. I've grown up with it. My very first system was a Nintendo NES. So I'm really hoping for this. But again, like for me, I just want to see some good first-person shooters, some multiplayer experiences that I can share with my friends. That's the biggest thing for me. The commercial's largely talking to this, I think. I hate that games have gone primarily online, especially with first-person shooters. It's like, it used to be that your friends came over and you guys could play couch co-op games together, and it was like it was a social experience. And it's, as a kid, having that, like playing Street Fighter or GoldenEye as a kid, there was something really special about that, like this bonding experience, and it's largely lost on the current generation of game consoles, and even the last one, because everything went online. And so I think Nintendo's trying to bring that back, and I really hope that it works, because that is missing in today's market. I want that back. I want that experience back. And it's especially cool for like people who have, if you've got kids and let's say you're a dad and your son's like 12 years old, you want to have a game experience together. A lot of games don't allow you to today if you both want to play Call of Duty or whatever, or Battlefield together. Like, a lot of games won't let you do that, but hopefully with this, like, let's say, depending on the cost of the system, and if you have the money to just throw at it, like, you could get yourself a Nintendo Switch, and then you can get, your significant other or your son, your child, your daughter, a Nintendo Switch, and you can both have dedicated screens to play certain games together. That to me sounds like so much fun. I'm excited for this, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Thanks you guys for hanging out with me. Let me know your thoughts on the Nintendo Switch. I keep wanting to say NX. Let me know your thoughts on the Nintendo Switch, what you think of it, if you think it's gonna be able to compete with anything that, Sony and Xbox has coming next, if it's gonna be like the sensation that the Wii was when it came out. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. I'm JABY KOAY. Peace out.